your mic, and Adam, if you could turn back on your camera and mic, please, and share your screen again.
And Jahazrael too, I expect. Don't know.
Yes, he should have the access as well.
So I'm back on. Hey, everyone.
Andy, are you back in? I could see you. All right, so Andy, you could kick it back off. I'm handing it back over to you. And then I guess Adam could keep going.
Hey, we'll just wrap up.
Andy, are you back in?
I am, yes.
I can see you. All right, so Andy, you could kick it back off. You have the YouTube in your background because I'm hearing myself echo.
Yeah, I turned it off, sorry.
No problem. All right, I'm coming off the stage, so you could take it back over, Andy. Thank you, guys. Everyone. Yes, sorry.
Hey, everyone. If that happens again, we'll just stop the presentation and start back again. There's been a glitch with the system today. I apologize in advance. If you want to just watch the presentations, I've sent a YouTube link in all of the meetup descriptions, so you can also follow along there. The speakers, I do need you to stay in Remo so that you can have access to the camera presentation. Adam, I apologize. You were right around at time. My timer to go off. I'll just let you finish up quickly, and then we'll move on to the next demo.
Thank you, Andy. I was just simply to jump through to show us that when we validate something, yes, we just validated it, and that was checked a few seconds ago, and then we go back to our location here. You can see, though it says 2 hours ago there, it was validated a few seconds ago, and that's the autonomy we have to change things and the speed we can change things out very quickly. So that's go-getter, and we look forward to sharing that more with people as they come to the table later. Thank you.
You're on mute, Andy. Mute.
Thank you. Just did a whole spiel. Thank you so much, Adam, for that amazing presentation. We'll have you back up in just a few minutes to do the Q&A. For now, we're going to run right into our next demoer. I know that it was set to be Queerly Health, but we had a scheduling change. Justin from Blaze Transit, can you join me on stage and share your screen? And then we'll kick you off. Wonderful. Welcome. Can you go ahead and share your screen?
Yeah.
Right. And it looks like you're ready, so I'm going to leave screen and then go ahead.
Perfect. Thanks for the intro, Andy. My name is Justin Hunt, so I'm the CEO and co-founder of Blaze. Thank you to Andy, the rest of the team at Tech Alliance and QueerTech for organizing this event for queer founders like myself. So at Blaze, what we do is we help transit authorities, like, for example, the MTA in New York or the STM in Montreal, drastically improve their bus services. So since I was a kid, as much as I love the bus, I also hated the bus with a passion. They're rarely on time. They're either packed, and we're packed like sardines, which is dangerous nowadays, or they're nearly empty. And our commutes take generally way longer than necessary. So what we actually built is a platform that allows any transit authority in the world to run on-demand public buses. So what this means is that instead of the bus following the same fixed route and fixed schedule all day long, it now changes constantly in real time based on requests received through the Blaze app. So let me walk you through a demo of how this works. Our app is actually live on the App Store and the Play Store, but because of the whole location services things, it's very hard to do live demos. So it's a video, but you'll have to take my word for it that it works in real life. So much like actually any other transit app like Google Maps or Transit App or Move It or City Mapper, we ask people to just put in their origin, destination, and what time they want to travel. The big difference with us is that instead of just telling you which buses are available when, we actually create the whole service around you. So from the homepage, you put in where you want to start from. So you enter a location. One of our clients is in Laval, so we'll give a demo there. So you put in your origin, then you put in your destination that's pre-filled. We pre-filled that, and then either what time you want to leave your origin at or what time you want to arrive at your destination. And so once you hit submit, we will have about 2 minutes to tell you whether your ride is confirmed. So this is our algorithms running in the back end to figure out if we can serve you. Luckily, this one has been confirmed, and it'll go into your upcoming trips. And so we say it's an on-demand bus platform, but really we ask people to make the requests in advance. So anywhere from 24 hours to 30 minutes before their desired departure, which means that if you make it 24 hours in advance, we won't really know what that exact trip looks like. So we give you an approximation. So we'll tell you, okay, yes, we can serve you from this origin to this destination at this time, but we won't provide you with the exact trip details until 30 minutes before your departure. At that point, we'll send you a notification here. It'll say your ride is ready, and we'll tell you which bus stop you need to get to, which bus stop you'll be dropped off at, and at what times. Something else to note, which I forgot to mention before, is that it's not a door-to-door service. We're talking about a bus stop-to-bus stop service with the full-size 40-foot buses, just like we have on the road now, but again, the routes and schedules are always changing. So once it's getting close to the departure time, you can see your whole itinerary. You get a notification that you need to leave for the bus stop. You walk on over to the bus, see it approaching you. You get on with your phone, and then you're alerted. Oh yeah, so you can see all the updated trip details, which are actually kept up to date based on traffic. So if there's a huge traffic jam or an accident, we'll actually update these times to match what's happening in reality. As you get close to your destination, you get a notification that it's time to get off. So no need to press that little red button anymore, pull the string, and you're dropped off at a bus stop near your destination. You can, once you end your trip, you can give a rating and give feedback. So it gives your transit authority constant feedback on how the service was, so that they can be improving it over time. And once again, we're not the ones operating the buses. We license this app to our transit partners to be able to do so. So that's the demo. If anyone has any questions, please ask in the Q&A. Our ask for tonight is if you have any connections to transit authorities or city officials where you'd like to see this implemented, please let me know. We'd welcome any introduction. And we're also hiring for a bunch of roles, including a full stack developer. So head to our career page on our website, which I posted in the chat, if you're looking for new opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Fantastic demo. Really, again, amazing app. I'll ask you to leave the stage, and then I'll call you back in just a few minutes. And with that, we get to our third demo. My Umbrella, Angelique Williams, come on up. And once you get situated, I'll disappear from stage, and I'll give you, turn it over to you.
Awesome, thanks. Okay.
Thank you again
for my screen.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Awesome. All right. Well, I will see you in a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. All right, hi everyone. My name is Angelique Williams. I'm the founder of My Umbrella. We're an online platform for members of the LGBT community who are looking for a creative outlet. What makes us different than other platforms is that, you don't have to be an accomplished writer. You don't have to write for Huffington Post or Autostraddle or major in English or have perfect English. If you wanted to share your story, we welcome you to join our writers cohort. We started as a social networking app back in 2018. But when the pandemic happened, we shifted towards, realizing that people are going to be alone with their thoughts and want to build community and share their story and have an outlet when they can't see their friends or go to the things that they want to do for a healthy outlet. And so we relaunched this platform on May 19th of this year. And so when you come onto our site, you'll see the latest stories that we've had here, all of which I review and check out personally. So to join our platform, just so you'll see, so we have our writers cohort here. If you want to join, and you can complete the intake form, which basically is a very simple Google Doc. You'll see we have 50+ writers on the platform. And it's basically just asking you very general demographic stuff, so we can know what's going on. I will say one thing that I'm very proud of in this is that we have writers from all corners of the US, in Canada, in Malaysia, in India. A third of our writers are transgender, gender not conforming, agender, or somewhere in their transition non-binary process. And so I'm very proud of that. Once you are on the platform, you receive onboarding instructions, and then there's there's a list of topics that you can generally write under. And so people submit their work, and where the value add from my side comes in is I review every single article. I review it, I make edits, make changes, suggestions, again, just helping people pull their story forward. It's especially helpful for people that where English is not their first language. And helping them really tell their story in a compelling way that really pulls people in and brings it to life for them. And from there, everyone receives custom graphics to share on their social media. This also appears on our Instagram feed, so if you follow us, you may have seen some of these before. And so for me, the real ask, for me, this is great because I wanted this platform to really be about amplifying the voices of people that feel like they don't have a way to, and creating community when people feel like they have none. And so now, by having it web-based, we used to be app-based. The app is still live on the Play Store under My Umbrella HQ, but the app is still live. But now with the web platform, we're able to reach a bigger audience. We're able to really tell these stories, and it's amazing because so many people say that their stories are unremarkable, and yet they present them, and they're amazing. And there's people that reach out and say, this was me and no one else has put it like this. And it's just really helpful because I think for me, this is something that I would have wanted as a kid, to see my story in someone else, to know that people were experiencing the same things and I wasn't alone. So my ask for everyone is really, again, we relaunched in May of this year. So my ask is really follow us on social media. Our handles are at My Umbrella HQ on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And yeah, tell your friends about the platform if they want to write. We will be pushing the platform further next year to open it up to all creatives, but for right now, we're really focused on the writing elements. So thank you.
Thank you, Angie. I want you to stay here. I'm going to ask Justin from Blaze and Jazrael and Adam from Street Lives to join us on stage. And then I'm going to ask all of the participants, attendees, if you have any questions for any of the founders, to put them in the Q&A. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and kick things off. Thank you all for such amazing demos and products. I'm really excited to see everything that you've been building, and from all the different areas. Angie, where are you located?
I'm located in Oakland, in the Bay Area.
In Oakland. Awesome. So we have Bay Area, New York, and Montreal. This is really exactly what we wanted to accomplish with this event. I'm going to start with a question for Blaze that came through. Are any of the applications here for cities reopening from COVID, for example, finding buses that are less crowded, or working with cities to pre-schedule trips? How are you working with cities around reopening around COVID?
Yeah, exactly. So our first two clients, we were supposed to deploy during COVID. That unfortunately was postponed, but now this gives us an opportunity to test out some new kind of COVID related features like a capacity limit. So we don't tell people how many people are on the bus. We just limit it to, say, 15 passengers per bus to allow social distancing. And then we also implemented official contact tracing, because anyone on one of the Blaze buses has to have made a request through the app. So if someone tells us they're COVID positive, we can actually alert everyone who's been in contact with them on one of our buses in the past 2 weeks, so that they can socially isolate. So yeah, so we're doing lots of interesting things to make public transit safer and more trusted by the population.
Amazing. For Angie, the question came through about where you're located, but I've been admiring your background the last couple of days. So
I am in Oakland. I am in my living room. I did a remodel of my apartment. So this is an egg chair and then a wallpaper that is like 12 feet long on my wall. So I made like I gave myself a full beach.
Awesome. That's so great. I have a question for you about My Umbrella and the types of stories. And have you seen the stories change or the writings change during the COVID pandemic or the Black Lives Matter movement specifically?
Yes. So there was, when you create a product, you can kind of guess what's going to happen. There's a lot of things you don't know what's going to happen. So, there's been a lot of stories about, falling in love with your best friend and how you realized you were gay. I expected those stories. Things I didn't expect were how many gender identity stories there were going to be, and their journey through that. But yeah, with the Black Lives Matter movement, I had a few people actually reach out. Normally they just write their stories, but every now and then people will send me an email saying, is it okay if I write this? And there were a lot of people that said, hey, I want to talk about the LGBT movement and how it relates to Black Lives Matter and who started it and why we need to be supportive. We've had people write stories about, toxic relationships and at the end say, oh, and by the way, Black Lives Matter. And so there's a lot of stories about that. One of our writers from India was writing about Black Lives Matter and colorism in India and how that affects people and, quote unquote, fair skinned Indians versus dark skinned Indians and what that does. And so, yeah, those are things that I didn't expect, but it's definitely having the effect that I hoped for, which is that people have the platform to express their thoughts.
That's awesome. It's great to hear. I'm going to switch over to Street Lives team, Jazrael and Adam. I wanted to find out, you're collecting a lot of data in building this app from the different resources and across the city. And I wanted to know a little bit more about that data set and what one of the most interesting things you found about that set, maybe that surprised you about the lack of access that it potentially had, or something that you presented in the app that made it so much easier for people to access those resources.
I think I can take that about the data set. We partnered with the Hunter College New York Food Policy Center to pull in a lot of data they're verifying day-to-day with a large volunteer team. And as we've gone across the few weeks where we're pulling in data, so first we may have had 2 weeks, then 3 weeks, then a month and so, it seems that the number of services closed is pretty static. I think we were seeing about 30 to 35% of services are still closed. And I don't know whether to infer from that. I think there's a holding pattern. People are a bit nervous about what to do. The instructions about what to do are probably going to change. But I thought that was interesting that as we've moved across, though we can host more and more services, the number of those that are open and the number of those that are closed is remaining pretty similar. So okay, in terms of what's on offer and accessibility to services, it's very hard to find things if you're not if you're trying to sort of search Google for particular services. I think it's hard to do that, and we're trying to facilitate that through using data objects that were built and designed with the community. So if you want to go and search for you need baby clothes, okay, so we can do that for you through the tool, and we can hopefully point you to a service that's opened up now. But I don't know. I think just being able to offer that information that the community needs, and just or to have confidence that you can access a service, is the most important thing we can provide, so that you're not heading to the wrong door, and you're going to be able to access the thing if you can find it through the data objects that the community require. Awesome.
And Jazrael, in your experience in helping to build this product, what was the best piece of that process, and what surprised you during that whole process?
I think there's a couple of things that really stood out for me, and being a part of the team, but also working in community and being involved in community. There weren't any surprises. I think the aspiration that Street Life has as a tool it speaks to the things that the community has been asking for a very long time: the ability to review services, the ability to rate services, and to provide that feedback constantly and continuously. I think where I've been surprised is where the city and service providers have a little bit too much community, the power to provide feedback and to share resolutions or even solutions to improve their services. I think that's been sort of the most surprising aspect of all of this work. But again, I think Street Lives, because of how it's built and the way the application is built and the way we build services with community, a lot of the features in the sort of aspirational tool is there, but you will see, and if we had the opportunity to kind of dive into both applications, Go Getter and Street Life, you'll see where, Go Getter, more of a city project, removes a lot of the more, I don't want to describe it as aspirational, but like the needed things, the things that community have been asking for, sort of been removed just because of how city sort of is able to build and work with community. So I think, like, for us, it's really getting those relationships that will help us to advance that sort of, like, we need a tool, we need services that allow those that are accessing it, those that are the beneficiaries, to provide feedback to it, working for their benefit, similar to Blaze.
Awesome, very, very cool. Really quickly, for each of you, I'm going to ask you to quickly reiterate your ask for the community, starting with Angie.
My ask is simple. It's just please share the word with your peers and follow us on social media. I put the handle in the chat. It's at MyUmbrellaHQ.
Awesome. And Jazarel, go ahead. What's your ask?
Yeah, similar to Angie, we at Street Lives are asking folks to amongst their networks. If you are a tech developer, web developer, we're all in expanding and building the platform. For folks more on the community level, you are welcome to support our work in expanding our knowledge and our learning from community. So we're looking to work with community members as well in that engagement part and pulling in information. And then I think, like, if there are funders on the call or folks looking to fund a project like this, then for those folks, we are open to donations and welcome any support or connections to support.
Awesome, thank you. And then Justin, what's your ask?
Yeah, so I have two asks. One is on the talent side. So if you're looking for a new adventure opportunity with us, we're hiring for 5 different positions right now. So please, if you know anyone or yourself are interested, on our website, our careers page has all the details there. We're open to remote workers as well, since we're all remote now. And then the second ask is we're always looking for intros to the officials. They're always difficult to get to respond to us. So if you know of anyone, that would be very appreciated. I'll put my email in the chat. Thank you.
Any final words, Adam, before we go?
Just had an offer. We're about to step into a long research project with the city, and so if there are anyone on at this event with connections to youth experiencing homelessness, we're going to be designing a tool with youth experiencing homelessness that we're going to be prototyping with the city in the next few months. So please send people along. I'll put contact details in the chat.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. Round of applause. If we were in real life, you would hear an amazing round of applause for everybody. So thank you again for participating. I'll include your asks in our follow-up newsletters. I hope you can stick around for a few minutes after the event to connect with a few people. And thank you again. Fantastic demos. Again, see you next time.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move right into our next group. And first up, we have Irma from Cafecito. Please join me on stage. I will stop sharing my screen, ask you to share your screen, and then I'll disappear.
All right. Thank you, Eddie. Yeah, so thank you. My name is Irma. I am the founder of Cafecito. So to start off, I just wanted to quickly set the scene, kind of like why we're here and why this tool is important. A lot of us have maybe gone and started working remote in the past few months due to COVID, even probably before that. And so if you kind of think about that first time that you're working remote, that first day, it was probably a little bizarre and weird. You're probably not sure when you were going to take your next break. You're kind of like just back to back, working, and all before you know it, it's 5 p.m. and your day is over. And so what happens for a lot of remote workers is that we get into that cycle of not being able to know or structure our days to make times for breaks, for self-care, take a walk outside, to maybe talk to a new peer. And I faced this myself as a remote worker, my entire first year of working remote. So I started to think more about, why isn't there a solution to help remote workers solve for social isolation? How do we help and empower remote workers to find those opportunities to connect, grow their network, meet new people to partner on projects with? And so I started to think about what a solution would look like, and that is Cafecito. Cafecito in Spanish means small espresso drink. A lot of my conversations, and that's how I've met tons and tons of people. So what we do with Cafecito is we facilitate those peer-to-peer conversations by taking a look at your interests and going from there and matching you with folks in our community. So I'm going to switch really quickly over to a quick demo. Our app right now this is actually just designs that are in development. And so I'm going to go through this. This is going to be released very soon, but I wanted to go through what the onboarding process looks like and how, as a remote worker, you can sign up and start to find folks in our community to chat with, take coffee breaks with. They're 30 minutes, super quick. And so what we do is that we take a few bits of data to start to match you with relevant people. This is all done globally, so you can meet folks from Germany, Portugal, the US, pretty much all over the world. And so as part of our onboarding process, we ask more about, what do you do, where you're based, where do you work? And we also, most importantly, start to develop a profile, more human profile, around your interests and your goals. So by us understanding who you'd like to talk to, what's your objective, what type of chats you're looking for, are they more casual chats, networking, finding a project partner potentially? These are all opportunities for us to connect remote workers with these social opportunities. And then once that happens, you go ahead and you come to our dashboard. So your dashboard is personalized to you. And every time you have a coffee break coming up, you not only get a calendar invite, but you can also join the coffee break via this dashboard. And the goal with this was to make it super, super simple for remote workers to come into our platform, hit join, jump into their video chat. So you and your partner, usually it's a one-on-one conversation for 30 minutes, will show up on the screen. In addition to that, you have access to both of the participants' social media. So if you'd like to check them out, you totally can. And we try to incorporate some of this human aspect of who we are over just talking about what we do for a living. So things like your interest in travel, your interest in entrepreneurship, a new nonprofit that you maybe launched, and then an optional agenda to just kick off the conversation and just make it flow really easily with both folks on the call. And so after the call, a really important part of Cafecito is to understand how we can help you when you come back next week. So if by telling us if you enjoyed your meeting, we're able to, over time, create data that feeds off each other. So kind of like machine learning and data modeling and training that data to understand what sort of profiles you're most likely to get along with, have good conversations with. And on top of that, we also try to tap into how did this coffee break make you feel? So was it happy, right? Were you feeling happy after the call? Was it a little bit more tense? And that's really helpful, not just to us, but also to, sorry, my cat, but also to the member themselves, right? They can kind of see how Cafecito over time can help them build a habit, but also see how valuable it is to seek out those social opportunities. It's really hard when you're a remote worker, so that's why we're trying to solve that gap for all of the remote workforce at a global level. And then lastly, we have a community product today that matches remote workers globally. Like I said earlier, we have about 400 members that are using the product to date, and it all starts with coffee. So it's really awesome to have connected so many folks so far with our platform. And if you'd like to check us out, you can do so at Meet Cafecito. I would love for your feedback. And my second ask is if you are familiar or have experience in B2B sales, I would love to talk to you and just learn more about kind of that whole space. So thank you so much for taking a look at Cafecito.
Thank you so much, Irma. Really fantastic demo. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to turn off your camera and your microphone, and we'll move right into the next demo. Irma will be back in just a few minutes for the next round of Q&A. So remember your questions, get them in the Q&A right now for Irma. But for now, we're going to move right on. 5 minutes of science with Cassoulet. Cassoulet, come on up, turn on your camera and your microphone, and we'll get started. I hope he's still there. Cassoulet, are you there? Give you a few seconds. Okay, he might have gotten kicked out, so I'm going to stop the presentation. Georgie, can you go ahead and stop us and restart us again? And it'll happen very quickly. Thank you again for your patience. It wouldn't be a tech meetup if there weren't tech problems. So Georgie, can you go ahead and restart us?